Insert statement syntax. The insert statement allows you to add new data to a table in an Oracle database. Let's take a very brief look at the insert statement syntax, and then we'll go look in the manuals and find it in there and show you how to use it from there. So, the red highlighted part shows you that you can insert into a table that can optionally be referenced by a schema using a thing called a values clause. And that's this thing right here. Insert into something, values. So you insert, go to the next page, a list of columns, optional if values clause specifies columns in existing physical column order. So in other words, if you specify the values in the existing column and data type order that matches the order of the tables physically created in the table, you don't have to specify the columns list. The columns list allows you to change the order of the columns that you're actually adding into a table regardless of the physical order of the columns in the table. That's what that does. Returning values clause allows you to push expression results back into PLSQL variables. And we will get to that later on in the chapter on PLSQL, but basically you can push variable values back into PLSQL from an insert statement. You can send back a single variable or an array for multiples or multiple columns or a combination thereof. So your basic insert statement syntax can actually be accessed by pulling information to insert from a subquery. So you can say insert into a table, column, 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 as select statement. Take all the data, add it into a table. It's one way to copy data, and one way to pass information either partially or fully from one place to another. In this case, you do insert into, etc., etc., subquery, which is actually as select. There's another type of insert statement known as a multiple table insert, which allows you to push information into more than one table at the same time. Based on an into clause, as in when condition into one table, or when another condition into another table, or else into a third table, and even selecting as a subquery. So into table that one, condition into one table, condition into another table, else into a different table when the above conditions have failed. First allows you to simply pass processing onto the next row retrieved. In other words, the next when condition. So if you succeed on the first when condition, it goes all the way down and goes to the next row and basically looks through the list again. In other words, it doesn't try to add everything to all tables. When using all, it will actually try to execute all when conditions on every row of the table. So it could actually add the same row to multiple tables at the same time, or first it will basically add the same row to one table at once. So all can give you either a lot more information or a lot of superfluous detail. That's the basic syntax for an insert statement. So we've looked at basic insert table syntax. Let's go and look at the manuals now. So now we're back in the manuals, and from the basic list I'm going to click the master book list. Once again I'm going to go and look for the SQL language reference. Click this little guy here, and the easiest way to do it is to search for the insert statement. There's a few other things that are not really related. Here's the insert statement. Here is the documentation on the insert statement. It tells you adds a row to a table. Well, one or more. Conventional direct path, all sorts of other details. What I really want to look at this point is just the syntax to show you how to find your way around it. So here we have insert, single table, multiple table. Remember I told you about a multiple table insert. Insert, single table insert, insert. Insert clause, values, subquery, returning, so on and so forth. And here is the into part of the insert statement into a table using the regular alias, column list, and so on and so forth. And the values basically have a list of expressions and or defaults. It's actually pretty simple. It's not really all that complicated. There are a few other bits and pieces that you can read through in the manual to look at the details if you really want, but it's really much like queries. Much like working with SQL queries, the DML statements are going to be very much familiar if you understand how select statements work.